When we think about what lies beneath the ground, we usually picture solid layers of rock or perhaps molten magma, stable, silent, and largely unquestioned. Yet, across different times and cultures, people have imagined something more. For thousands of years, storytellers, religious thinkers, and even some scientists have described the possibility of an inner world hidden beneath the surface. In these accounts, the underground is not simply empty space or lifeless stone, but a place of unseen realms, lost knowledge, and sometimes even unknown inhabitants. This concept, often called the inner earth or hollow earth, has echoed through ancient myths, medieval writings, and modern speculation, whispered by those who dare to imagine that the world beneath us might be more than a boundary, and could instead be the doorway to something entirely unexpected. Long before the current version of the hollow earth theory, our ancient ancestors were well acquainted with the concept of a subterranean world. From the earliest civilizations, subterranean realms appear in legend not as empty voids but as structured worlds, with gates, rulers, and laws. In Mesopotamian tradition, the Sumerians described a shadowy realm beneath the surface of the earth known as Kur. Unlike the lush fields or shining heavens of other mythic afterlives, Kur was envisioned as a dim, desolate land where the dead continued their existence in a muted state, cut off from the vibrancy of the living world. It was ruled by the goddess Ereshkigal, who presided over its gates and held authority over all souls that entered. Kur was not only a destination for the departed but also a source of unease for the living, for it was said that monstrous beings sometimes emerged from its depths to trouble the world above. These stories reflect the Sumerians' view of the underworld as both a necessary part of the cosmic order and a domain of danger, mystery, and transformation, an unseen landscape that mirrored their anxieties about death and the unknown. In Greek cosmology, the underworld was not a single, uniform place, but a layered realm with distinct purposes. Hades, often envisioned as the shadowy domain of the dead, was where ordinary souls passed after life, a neutral and inevitable destination rather than a place of torment. Yet beneath this somber landscape lay Tartarus, a far deeper abyss described as both a prison and a barrier. Ancient poets, including Hesiod, portrayed Tartarus as the place where the defeated Titans were cast after their rebellion against the Olympian gods. It was a cosmic dungeon reserved for beings of immense power whose presence could not be allowed in the world above. It was more than just a pit of punishment. It was a structural necessity within the Greek understanding of the universe, a kind of cosmic basement where chaos, threat, and divine retribution were contained. To the Greeks, Tartarus symbolized the hidden depths of existence itself, a reminder that beneath the order of the heavens and the surface of the earth there existed vast and mysterious spaces where reality's darkest depths were stored away. In Norse cosmology, the human realm of Midgard was not imagined as resting upon inert stone alone, but as connected to deeper, stranger domains. Beneath its surface stretched the icy expanse of Niflheim, a primordial land of mist, frost, and unyielding cold, said to be one of the first worlds to emerge from the void of Ginnungagap. Alongside it lay Svartalfheimr, the realm of the Svartalfar, or Black Elves, who were also associated with the dwarves, the master smiths of the myths. From their subterranean halls came weapons and treasures that defied the limits of ordinary craftsmanship, such as Thor's hammer Mjolnir, Odin's spear Gungnir, and golden creations like Freya's necklace Brisingamen. These realms together shaped a vision of what lay below Midgard, not simply cold emptiness, but spaces of hidden activity where unseen beings labored in darkness to forge metals of divine potency. The Norse imagination thus wove the underworld into a place of both fear and fascination, an unseen foundation where cold death and creative fire were bound together. In the cosmology of India's Puranas, The universe is not limited to the visible world of mountains, rivers, and skies, but extends into a vast vertical structure of realms stacked one above the other. At the surface lies Berloka, the earthly plane where humans dwell. Yet beneath it unfolds the dazzling expanse of Patala, a domain often misunderstood as dark or hellish in Western translations. In truth, the Puranic texts describe Patala as radiant and resplendent, filled with treasures and wonders surpassing anything found on the surface world. It is here that the Nagas, serpent kings and semi-divine beings, are said to rule, constructing magnificent subterranean cities adorned with jewels, precious metals, and architectural marvels. One of the most striking ancient examples of an inner earth narrative is found in the Sumerian tale of Inanna's descent into the underworld. Inanna, the goddess of love, fertility, and war, deliberately enters the realm of her sister Eresh-Kigal, the queen of the dead, passing through 7 gates and surrendering a piece of her power at each threshold. Far from being a simple death story, this descent portrays the underworld as a structured, inhabited space, complete with rulers, laws, and hidden mysteries. In this sense, the tale mirrors broader inner earth concepts. The subterranean world is not merely emptiness or death, but a distinct realm, layered and alive, holding secrets inaccessible from the surface, where encounters with other beings and profound truths can fundamentally change those who venture within. In the Book of Enoch, a visionary text that shaped aspects of Second Temple Judaism and left echoes in early Christian thought, the figure of Enoch is taken on a journey through the hidden architecture of creation. His guide, an angelic being, leads him into vast mountain caverns and subterranean chambers that serve as cosmic storehouses and prisons. Within these shadowed depths, Enoch beholds the places where the rebellious angels, the watchers who transgress divine boundaries, are held in chains until their final judgment. He is also shown the treasuries of the natural elements, chambers where the winds are gathered before being released upon the earth, and reservoirs of waters, both heavenly and subterranean, that sustain life and shape the world's cycles. These visions present the earth not as a simple mass of stone, but as a layered cosmos filled with order, mystery, and moral consequence. Its hidden depths function as both the machinery of nature and the stage for divine justice. Here's a list of additional descent narratives referencing an inner earth or subterranean realm. The Egyptian Duat texts, circa 2400 BCE and onward, describe pharaohs and gods who traverse the Duat, a layered underworld with gates, guardians, and transformative trials. The Epic of Gilgamesh, circa 2100 to 1200 BCE, explains Gilgamesh's journeys to the edge of the world where he encounters subterranean waters and hidden realms. The Odyssey, circa 8th century BCE, describes Odysseus's travels to the underworld to consult the dead, portraying it as a liminal space of prophecy. Orpheus in the Underworld, circa 6th to 5th century BCE, explains Orpheus's descent into Hades to retrieve Eurydice, showing a structured subterranean realm. The descent of Persephone, circa 7th century BCE, describes Persephone's abduction into Hades, which is depicted as a hidden realm connected to life cycles. Catabasis of Theseus, circa 5th to 4th century BCE, describes the hero's journey into chthonic realms to confront monsters or retrieve treasures. Chthonic cults throughout the Mediterranean, circa 1st millennium BCE, tell of mysteries associated with oracular caves and chthonic deities and present the inner earth as an inhabited, spiritually potent realm. And Mesoamerican underworld legends during the pre-Columbian era describe heroes and gods traversing layered underworlds with deities, spirits, and trials. In the 17th century, the hollow or inner earth theory began to take a more formal shape in the minds of scientists and philosophers. Edmund Halley, renowned for charting the comet that bears his name, proposed that the Earth might consist of concentric shells, each separated by empty space, perhaps containing atmospheres and even life. He speculated that luminous phenomena like the aurora borealis might originate from interactions between these hidden layers, hinting at a world just beyond perception. The fascination deepened in the 18th and 19th centuries as the concept moved into public imagination. John Cleves Sims, Jr., an American Army officer, insisted that enormous polar openings led to a habitable inner Earth. He campaigned widely, urging explorers to seek these entrances and promising wonders beyond imagination. At the same time, literature captured the idea's dramatic potential. Jules Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth envisioned subterranean realms filled with prehistoric creatures, vast caverns, underground rivers, and volcanic energy, a vivid reflection of humanity's longing to peer into the unknown. By the early 20th century, the hollow earth theory transformed from adventure to esoteric philosophy. Writers such as William Reed and Raymond Bernard suggested that the inner world was not only physically vast, but inhabited by advanced civilizations, guardians of knowledge, and beings of moral and spiritual insight. The idea of an inner Earth had found a more defined shape within Western esoteric thought, often taking the name Agharta. Described in writings that blended travel accounts, mystical speculation, and philosophical reflection, Agharta is envisioned as a vast subterranean network, an entire world concealed beneath the Earth's surface. According to these accounts, it is ruled by enlightened beings who do not seek fame or dominance, but quietly guide the course of human history from the shadows, intervening only when necessary to maintain balance and harmony. Esoteric writers describe Agharta's inhabitants as guardians of forgotten knowledge, repositories of ancient technologies, and custodians of moral and spiritual laws that surpass ordinary human understanding. Their influence, though largely invisible, is said to ripple outward, subtly shaping societies, guiding discoveries, and nudging civilizations toward paths of greater stability or enlightenment. In the early decades of the 20th century, we also encounter the polar explorations of Admiral Richard E. Byrd. Few explorers ventured into the polar extremes with the daring and skill of Admiral Byrd. Flying over the frozen wastes of the Arctic and Antarctic, Byrd charted territories that had never before been seen by human eyes. But in the world of esoteric speculation, his journeys took on a far deeper significance. Some accounts suggest that Byrd glimpsed landscapes that defied conventional understanding, temperate valleys, vast forests, and even signs of habitation hidden beyond the polar ice, realms said to lie within the Earth itself. Legends claim that Byrd's own journals hinted at these inner worlds, describing areas where the horizon stretched green and alive, a stark contrast to the icy deserts he had traversed. Followers of hollow earth theory argue that he flew over entrances to the fabled Agharta. Though mainstream historians point out that these interpretations are largely based on misreadings or exaggerations, the idea has persisted, intertwining Byrd's genuine feats of exploration with centuries of subterranean lore. Byrd's polar flights occurred at a moment when the imagination of the world was captivated by hidden realms, from Jules Verne's fantastical novels to esoteric visions of Shambhala and Agharta. In this context, Byrd became more than an explorer. He became a symbol of the boundary between the known and the unknown, a figure whose real-world courage fuels speculation about the Earth's secret interior. Even today, the stories endure, the possibility that beneath the ice beyond the poles lies a hidden world, a world that Byrd may have only hinted at, yet that continues to capture the human imagination. In the 21st century, the hollow or inner Earth theory continues to capture the imagination, blending historical myths, speculative science, and popular culture. While traditional esoteric accounts like Agharta and Shambhala provided a mystical framework, contemporary interpretations often mix these older narratives with technological, scientific, and conspiratorial ideas. Enthusiasts speculate that beneath the planet's surface exists an expansive network of tunnels, caverns, and hidden realms, sometimes portrayed as a fully developed subterranean civilization, sometimes as alien habitats, and sometimes as sanctuaries for advanced human communities that have eluded the surface world. Modern proponents draw from a wide range of sources, from satellite imagery anomalies and unexplained geophysical phenomena to reinterpretations of ancient myths. Some suggest that magnetic poles, geothermal activity, and unusual atmospheric readings could indicate massive hollow spaces or interior worlds. Others invoke UFO sightings, secret government programs, and declassified documents as evidence of covert expeditions into these hidden regions, fueling a narrative in which the inner Earth is not just a mythic concept, but a potentially real and strategically significant domain. The theory also thrives in digital media, with forums, video documentaries, and social networks fostering communities that combine scientific curiosity with imaginative speculation. Some contemporary writers propose that the inner Earth could serve as a refuge for humanity in the event of global catastrophe, or as a source of untapped knowledge, technology, and energy. Others focus on its metaphysical implications, suggesting that contact with inner civilizations could accelerate human spiritual evolution or reveal hidden truths about consciousness and reality. While mainstream science regards the hollow Earth hypothesis as physically implausible, its persistence in the 21st century underscores a broader cultural fascination. The idea that beneath the surface of everyday life lies a hidden realm that is complex, mysterious, and potentially transformative. In this sense, the inner Earth continues to serve as both a literal and symbolic space, representing humanity's enduring desire to explore what is unseen, understand what is unknown, and imagine worlds beyond the limits of ordinary perception. Thank you for watching this video till the end. If you enjoyed this content, please take a moment to like, subscribe, and share. It truly makes a difference. As a channel that is over a decade old, the archive has seemingly been shadowed by the algorithm, so we rely on your direct support more than ever. To those of you already supporting through Patreon or as channel members, thank you. You're helping keep this research alive and independent. If you'd like to join us and help preserve forbidden knowledge and ancient truths, check the links in the description. Until next time, stay curious and stay awake.